welcome. I think we can start. It's good to see you in the first Join Knox Partner Program webinar. Thank you that you are being here with us. My name is Mateusz Andrusiewicz. I'm working in Samsung R&D Poland in Knox Partner Program Europe team. Today's topic will be SOTI One and Samsung Knox integration. SOTI is our Platinum KPP tier partner, and of course, Samsung Knox validated. We are working for some time now together on bringing new mobile solutions to the market. Today's speakers will be Damon Greaves and Roberto Roque. Damon is actually principal technical instructor working in IT for over 7 years and 5 of them in SOTI. In his current role, he is responsible for onboarding and delivering comprehensive technical training content for partners and their sales team. Our second speaker is actually Roberto Roque, and he's the director with the strategic partnerships team spearheading the Samsung relationships. Roberto has over 12 years of experience in mobility industry and has been with SOTI for over 4 years, responsible for different roles. In his current role, he is working on alignment SOTI and Samsung in order to bring to the market best-in-class mobile solutions. Before passing my voice to Damon, I would like to ask you to write your questions in a question tab on your right-hand side. I will read them aloud for the speakers at the end of the webinar during our Q&A session. Without further ado, let me pass my voice to Damon.
Thank you, Mateusz. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today on this webinar between SOTI and Samsung. I'm pleased to be a part of this, and I'm happy to let you all know about SOTI and what we do, and and our relationship with Samsung. So to get started, Mateusz did a great job of introducing myself. I am a principal instructor at SOTI, so my role really evolves around providing technical trainings for our internal staff. So as Mateusz said, for sales, onboarding, and also with certain partner trainings as well. With me is my colleague Roberto Roque. I've had a really good pleasure with working with him during my time at SOTI, and I'm sure the same is mutual on Roberto's side as well. But we'll be here today to really introduce you to SOTI and our products that we have. So that brings us to the agenda for today's webinar. So what we're going to get started with is an introduction to SOTI as a company. Who we are, what we do, and what have we been doing for our time in the industry. And following that, we'll talk about our product called the SOTI One platform, and we're really going to elaborate on a lot of different key aspects of the SOTI One platform and how it relates to our partnership with Samsung. And that brings us to the third point of the agenda, which is our partnership. It's been one of our longest standing partnerships that we've had, and you're going to see in this webinar, how this partnership is not only strategic from our end, but also from Samsung's end as well. Then we're going to get into the Knox platform for enterprise alongside with the Knox service plugins. We're going to talk about both of those technologies provided by Samsung, how they relate to our SOTI One platform, and how both of them work together to provide you a seamless management experience of your Samsung devices. And finally, Roberto is going to provide you all a call to action in terms of the next steps after learning everything we have during this webinar, in terms of what you all need to do next to really drive this forward for us. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about SOTI. So SOTI has been in the mobile industry for almost 25 years now, and during that time, we've had 99 consecutive quarters of profitability. So we're a private company. We're not funded by any external or third party. Everything that we do is all internal and has been driven by our president and CEO, Carl Rodriguez. And this company that he built, literally started from his basement. To be honest, it's a really amazing story. And if you get a chance to really learn more about SOTI as a company, I would suggest you take a look at Carl and what he's done. And through this, this profitability, this streak of profitability, our revenues have grown about 35% over the last 5 years. And even with this current situation that the world is in, we're still expected to continue growing as an organization. Now, the revenues that we do drive and do get that cause a lot of this revenue growth is mainly from our exports. So we are a global company. So we operate in many different areas of the world, and that allows us great expansion into different areas and different industries and verticals. And none of this we can't be this successful without the help of our partner base. And we have over 4,000 different partners and resellers that we work with, including Samsung, who's one of our closest and most strategic partnerships that we've gained over the years. And what this means in its totality from that aspect is that SOTI manages millions of devices around the world. And what you're going to see later in this, as we go through this webinar, is the various different customers that we do work with around the world. Now, through our 25-year existence, being in this mobile industry, we have garnered recognition garnered recognition and awards from Deloitte's Technology Fast 500 for the past for 3 years. It was one of the 500 fastest growing technology companies in North America. Our CEO has also won an EY Entrepreneur of the Year award back in 2018. But the one I like highlighting specifically is the PC Magazine Editor's Choice for Best MDM Solution for 4 years running. And this corresponds with one of our SOTI One platform products and pretty much the anchor of our anchor product, which is SOTI Mobi Control, our EMM solution. And it has done very well, and we continue to innovate and expand on the capabilities of our EMM solution as well. But we'll talk a little bit more in depth further on in the webinar. As mentioned before, we are a global company, and with being a global company, we also have offices in different areas around the world. The majority of our offices are in Canada. That is where we are headquartered, in Mississauga, Ontario. And we have 4 offices located in Canada. Our global HQ, our Heartland office, that's where Roberto usually would be. Our Standish office, where our support teams and professional service teams reside, and also our research lab in Waterloo, Ontario. So Waterloo is kind of like our Silicon Valley in Canada. This is our technology hub, and this is where we've been able to come up with some new and exciting technologies that we're looking to add into our SOTI One platform products. And even one of those products themselves is derived from this research lab. Now, we also have HQ in the EMEA region in the United Kingdom. We have various different regional offices in different parts of the world, including Japan, India, Dubai, Australia, a development office in Ireland, and also another regional office in Sweden in the Nordics. Now, what I'm showing everyone here is basically a snapshot of some of the highlighted customers out of the 17,000 plus enterprise customers that we have around the world. Now, take some time to take a look at this image here, but I'm pretty sure the majority of people that are attending this webinar will be able to recognize a good set of these various different companies. But the biggest aspect that I want everyone to take out of this is that we work in multiple different verticals, and that's what you're going to notice with all these various customers. We're not just in in one specific vertical like hospitality or we're just in retail. We're all over. We have very different key verticals that we do work with, but we can work on almost any vertical that's out there. We're very flexible in that standpoint. Now, to filter this out, we're also giving you guys a bit of a snapshot of some of our key shared customers with Samsung. So these are customers that we worked with directly with Samsung to provide them a management solution that they can use to optimally, effectively utilize their investment in Samsung devices and hardware. So we share over 2,000 various customers globally. And for us, Samsung is by far our biggest OEM partner in terms of share of devices that we do manage globally. So that leads me now into the SOTI One platform. And when we started SOTI as a company, we started off with our EMM solution, SOTI Mobi Control, and you can see it over in one of the bubbles to the right. And this was our EMM solution that we built off from Carl's basement up to where it is today, where its current version is version 15.2. But we knew as a company, we needed to expand and really encompass a lot more from a mobility standpoint, because as we know, mobility is becoming more of a standard now in all different verticals. You're seeing mobile devices being used everywhere. And new technologies are springing up as well. And we have to make sure that we are providing a solution that can be your, let's say, your one-stop shop to manage all your mobility needs, because all these organizations that we work with, they invest hundreds of thousands to even millions of dollars into these strategies to add better efficiencies to their organization. And so this is why we worked with those customers to develop this SOTI One platform. And what I'm going to go into next is we're going to go into each one, give you a bit of a snippet of in terms of what these various different products all do, and how when you unify all these products together provides you a very clean solution to support your mobile investment. So the first one, and obviously probably one of the most important ones, is SOTI Mobi Control, our EMM solution. And as Matthias had said at the beginning, our solution, our EMM solution, is a validated Samsung Knox solution. So Samsung has vetted our EMM solution and has stamped it as Samsung Knox validated. My apologies. So what that means for us is that we can manage various different parts of the Samsung Knox experience. So this would include Knox mobile enrollment for an out-of-the-box experience, ease of enrollment into an EMM system, the Knox platform for enterprise feature set, so our ability to enable those feature sets on all Samsung devices that get enrolled into our solution. We also have the ability to support the Knox Service Plugin, or KSP. And again, we're going to take in those last 2 points. We're going to go a little bit more deeper again later in the webinar about how what capabilities are there and how they can be utilized within our SOTI Mobi Control product. We also support Samsung ePhoto or Knox ePhoto. So version management of your OS can be done through SOTI Mobi Control. We also have our industry-leading remote control functionality, and this is a nice little game changer for us, especially when it comes to providing remote support to end users out in the field where you can't physically be there to see the device. You need to have a way of getting access to it. And then also with some DEX customizations and management through Knox. Now the last little bit is also on Tizen management. So we're trying to create a whole solution where all Samsung-based products that utilize both Knox and also Tizen can also be managed. And Tizen is coming soon, and we'll elaborate a little bit more as we go on. So to get an understanding sort of the flow of the ability to secure, deploy, and manage your Samsung devices inside of Mobi Control, this little diagram here kind of gives you that that lineage here from deploy all the way to secure. So for every Samsung device that you do order and you do get and you wish to manage it, it comes with the Knox technology already built into the device. So once you have it, now you can begin the initial setup of your devices for your end users. And this is where Mobi Control then comes in to enact those various different Samsung Knox features. So as an example, you get your, let's say, your 1,000 devices that you're looking to enroll and provide to your end user base. And it's not easy to just do, enroll one device at a time. You want to get them all done in bulk. Knox mobile enrollment and our ability to enable Knox mobile enrollment through Mobi Control gives you that out-of-box experience where you don't need to touch every single device to get them into the system. Then, because of our partnership with Samsung, we've been able to implement a lot of configurations to optimize those Samsung devices to be ready. So the ecosystem itself of Mobi Control is built for those Samsung devices in mind. From there, we can implement the Knox service plugin through our app distribution methods in Mobi Control, and that will allow you to enable very specific KPE features, and Knox Platform for Enterprise features, which are made available through KSP. And then for any sort of versioning control, you can enable Knox ePhoto One in Mobi Control to manage that versioning. Now, in terms of enrollment, to provide a secure workspace on those devices, we also can enable Android Enterprise. And Android Enterprise is the standard in terms of managing Android devices in the workforce. So with that ability and on top of the Samsung Knox technology, we can fully secure your device for all of your organizational needs. So continuing on with the partnership with SOTI and Samsung and what this kind of all means, because of our close relationship, we are a certified global KPE reseller. So the KPE feature, the KPE licenses that a customer may want to purchase if they need to utilize the functionalities of KPE, we are a reseller. So you can, we can be that liaison to provide that KPE experience for those customers. And we're extending that reach out to also to our global partner and channel base of over 4,000 different partner resellers that we have that sell Samsung. On top of this, again, as we mentioned, it is a Knox validated solution, Mobi Control. And for the KPE premium licenses, if a customer is looking to purchase a bundle of SOTI One, and we have many different SKUs for our SOTI One offering, the premium license is also included as a part of the bundle. And this is only possible because of our almost 10-year relationship with Samsung. And we want to continue to grow that relationship even more in the coming years and beyond, and really strengthen that partnership even further. And with that partnership, we've been able to manage to 1.7 million Samsung devices globally, and probably by now that we've already eclipsed that number already, but we're heading in a right direction in terms of global Samsung device growth being managed inside of the SOTI Mobi Control solution. So now that we have a bit of an understanding of a bit of Mobi Control and some of the capabilities from a Knox perspective, let's focus now on the Knox Platform Enterprise piece. So if Knox Platform for Enterprise is essentially a military grade mobile solution for IT admins, and this is to help manage and secure their Samsung hardware. So you're talking about your Android phones, your tablets, and even your Tizen watches and wearables. Now, the idea of KPE is really to focus, its main focus is for a lot of these organizations that require a lot of highly regulated and secured organizations. So if you're looking at, let's say, government, military, or just any organization that does require a high, let's say, a level of security and on the devices, because the data that will be on those devices is it may be secret. We got to make sure we are providing a robust technology to make sure all that is secured. So what you see over on the right is a couple bullet points of some of the features that the KPE essentially would support in that capacity. So from securing of key stores, full security management, VPN management, having a hardware trusted environment as well. So not only from a software side of Reaper is KP providing security, but also on the hardware side as well. So there is a balance of both. So there's a level of security on both ends. So to utilize some of these, and some of these features are premium features, and this is where you'll need a Knox premium license to enable these. And we're going to see that in a little bit further on, the types of features that are available as that are free features and ones that are paid that require the Knox premium license. Now, for Samsung and their reps, they do have KP targets that they're trying to hit when they're selling Samsung SKUs. So, since SOTI is one of Samsung's platinum partners, is also a key fulfillment channel. So use us as best as you can to help meet those targets for Samsung. Now, transitioning over to the next piece of to sort of tie in the KP solution is the Knox service plugin. So the Knox service plugin is what will enable those KP features to be available and usable on your Samsung devices. Now, KSP utilizes something called OEM config. The OEM config was brought to the Android operating system for Android enterprise specific devices, where if you wish to overlay your OEM specific feature sets and you wish to enable them before the device even touches the hands of a user, we can do this. And this is done in our in Mobi Control from our application management side. So what what KSP does is we can get the app from the Play Store and set and preset all the configurations we need for KPE and push that down to the device. And once the Knox service plugin is installed, those KPE features are automatically enabled. Now, as I mentioned, this is only available for an Android enterprise enrolled device. So it needs to be enrolled in that state to take advantage of those KPE features. Now, the beauty of this as well is, if there is a new, firmware update from Samsung or an OS update that has come down to Android, and there's some new changes and features added to KP as an example, all that really needs to be done is the KSP application needs to be updated. And once they're updated, those new features are ready and available for your IT admin to enable and configure and apply them to your devices. Now here, what we're going to look at is just a snapshot of all the features that are all the KPE features that are supported inside of KSP. So you have, and there's 2 pages here that we have here, and these are as current as of July of this year. So from DEX management to very specific standard restrictions and features, authentication controls, Wi-Fi management, application management, and key mapping here from device key mapping, along with advanced VPN configurations, dual DAR, excuse me, common criteria mode, and some various different device controls. And what you'll notice between both of these slides here is that any of the excuse me, highlighted feature sets here in green are actually paid features. So a Knox premium license is required for those features to be enabled, and you can add that premium license inside of the KSP configuration. All the other ones in black are actually free or a part of the KP offering with just a regular KP license. Now, the last bit we're going to talk about on the Mobi Control side here is Tizen wearables. Now, we've been looking to incorporate Tizen for quite some time now, and we're getting close to being able to offer this solution now in Mobi Control. So what this allows us to do now is we can now offer all Samsung Knox platform solutions under a single pane of glass. So you don't need to go to another solution to manage your wearables. You can also do this in SOTI Mobi Control. And just to excuse me, and for our first phase of this, we're looking at notification management, operation management, we'll be able to geofence, biometrics, emergency calling, and also remote controlling into these wearables. Now, moving on from our EMM solution, we're going to start moving and expanding into the other aspects of the SOTI One platform. And the next one is SOTI Assist. So SOTI Assist is a mobile-first diagnostic help desk platform. And the reason why we decided to build something like this is when you're looking at the industry today, in the workforce, everything's becoming a lot more mobile-centric. And more people are utilizing their devices for work. So help desks of today are very still geared towards that, office life where you have your laptop or your desktop and the problems can just be, figured out through a team viewer or a remote desktop. But when you have individuals that are remote workers or field workers that are out in the field with, let's say, a Note 10 or a Note 20, a Note S20 as an example, they need either someone physically has to be there or they have to come in and bring their device for a help desk or an IT technician to take a look at it. So with SOTI Assist, we leverage the capability of remote control and we expand that even further. So we now can give you, first touch resolution to mobile device issues that are happening out on the field. We can provide various different types of diagnostics, including various logs. We can grab instant data from the device. We can even annotate on the screen. So we can actually direct users in terms of where to go and also whiteboard ideas with them in terms of how to potentially solve a problem. Now, with our ability to remote control, we also have, which I'll get into just really in a quick second, but and you'll see this is we're able to integrate some of Samsung device key technology into remote control. I'm going to show you how that's done. So one of the aspects of our remote control is our ability to overlay not just the screen where we can actively point, click, and take control. We also can add the skin of the device. So the physical skin and the physical hardware buttons are overlaid as well, and we can actually enact them. So if I need to increase the volume or press the push to talk button, as we see here in this Xcover Pro, or the emergency button, these are parts of the remote control aspect that I actually can initiate from my desk. So I could be here in my house here in North America, since I'm working remote, but out in, let's say where Mateus is in Poland, even if he has his Xcover in his hand, I can physically on my screen click on that button, and we're testing out to make sure, hey, is this working? Am I getting a response? And I can get that from even that far out from Mateus around the world. So moving on to the next aspect of the SOTI One platform, and personally one of my favorite technologies that we have is SOTI Snap. And SOTI Snap is our rapid app development solution. And essentially what we're trying to do here is, our customers are looking for new ways to automate different aspects of their organization. And they're trying to transform a lot of their paper-based processes into a digital aspect, so a lot more digital transformation. So to give you an example of what this means by taking these paper-based processes and transforming them, let me give you a bit of an example of something that I had to deal with before the world kind of turned upside down with this pandemic. So I actually had to go to another medical center. I was switching the family doctor. And so I went to the desk, and the attendant told me, okay, here is she handed me a form on a clipboard. And there was a lot of information that I had to essentially discern and fill out as to the best of my ability. So I took the clipboard, took the pen, and I sat down at my chair. There's a couple people around me, and I'm trying to fill out this form with a lot of my personal information and my personal data. I wrote it as best as I can. My writing isn't the greatest, but I'm hoping that the attendant or whoever is going to be viewing this information can take it and input it in whatever system that they need to input it in. So once I've completed that form and spent about 15 minutes filling it out, and I give it back to the attendant, they take that clipboard with it and just place it to the left side, onto their left side, and that's it. So as I'm walking away from just handing it off, a couple of different thoughts run into my head. So the attendant just left it there out in the open. It's all my personal information, all my personal data. This should really be secured, right? I need to, like, why isn't this being, why isn't this just being inputted directly into, a database system? Why is it just left out in the open? And even then, for the person that's going to be inputting that data, can they read my writing? Do I have to go back and redo the form again, or different aspects of the form? And have I added in all the requirements that are needed for them to effectively apply me for my new family doctor? Right. And there are other different examples of these type of paper-based processes that happen in all sorts of different organizations and verticals. Like, as an example, for a guest check-in, to notify that your guest has arrived, and even for, let's say, a lead retrieval application, if you go, once we're able to have these conventions again and these trade shows, where you could customize your own lead retrieval utilizing APIs and other aspects to grab that data and input them in their appropriate into appropriate and secured databases. And this is what Snap does for you. It takes a lot of those inefficiencies that come with a paper-based process, and you can develop an app with little to no code at all that will automate that. So at a click of a button, not only is my information being taken from the app that I created, let's say a form app that I created, it's not exchanging multiple hands, it's going directly to where it's supposed to go. And I can deem exactly what is a required field, what's not required. If someone needs to put in information, if they say yes or no, I can dictate that and build an app quickly and seamlessly within minutes. And when we're talking about this from a digital transformation standpoint, let's say you are at a convention or at a show, as an example, and you're using, let's say, a Note or a Samsung S20 as an example to take down this information for leads. It'd be great to be able to take that in an app and deposit it and get real live data as it's coming in. So you have increased those efficiencies even that much further. So knowing the customers that you're entertaining, you're working with, you're trying to get leads on, this is a great aspect of utilizing SOTI Snap. And we internally have done that ourselves, utilizing our own product for those means as well. So the next product in the SOTI One platform is SOTI Insight. So SOTI Insight is our business intelligence tool, and what it does is it links itself with SOTI Mobi Control today, but in the future we're looking to link it with all the other SOTI One platform products. But essentially what it provides you is out-of-the-box analytics on your mobile device fleet. So here you can actually see all the information from a battery perspective, application perspective, data perspective, and a location perspective. And taking all of this metadata together, you're able to filter out and find devices that are, let's say in a poor state of health. And what we're looking to do with Insight is we're incorporating a machine learning component, and that component will allow customers to create very specific to provide predictive analysis, and also benchmarking their devices against other devices that they have inside of their fleet. So a couple of areas where this is very applicable to multitude of different customers and different verticals is, let's talk about battery as an example. What are my charge cycles, right? Like, how often am I charging these devices on a daily basis? These organizations are investing, as I mentioned before, hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars on these devices, and they want to make sure they're utilizing every ounce of potential of this investment. So making sure these devices last a long time from a battery perspective. How is the health of their battery being impacted based upon where is the device located, what applications are being used, and even moving on to applications. Are applications being adopted by your workforce? Are employees being productive with the applications you're providing them? Even from a data perspective, everyone wants to know how much data is being used by their employee base if they provide them devices with SIM cards. But there's more to it than that as well. We're looking at not only the total data being used, but is there one application that's using more data than the other, and is that contributing to an issue with battery performance? Right? Is there also a problem with location of where that device is, that they're getting a poor signal strength and can't effectively be productive at their job? So this is where Insight can give you those actionable insights to take action and make better business decisions on the devices that you have inside of your device fleet. And working with Samsung as well, we're looking to develop some extra diagnostics that really for those Samsung devices to pinpoint various trends and set various benchmarks as well. Next here is SOTI Connect, and the one one thing I wanted to mention before is earlier in the webinar I did talk about how our research lab had developed one of these products for the SOTI One platform, and this is the product right here, which is SOTI Connect. And so Connect is our Internet of Things framework solution. And the whole idea is that it's supposed to provide a flexible and expandable system for managing devices in an IoT network. As we know, IoT was kind of coined as a buzzword about 5 or 6 years ago, and everyone's on this whole IoT trend. But the issue that came up is what is the strategy of managing IoT, and what is IoT in someone's eye? So when we looked at it, there are various different devices that are going to be considered IoT. Even the mobile devices we use today are technically IoT. But we're talking about your mobile printers, your sensors that are out there that need some form of automation management, and this is where Connect comes in to provide that. So Connect can essentially remotely update, configure, query the state of devices, and perform other automated actions and predefined action against your device. So there's no need for a physical individual to actually go and check to make sure that this device is operating, or if this device is down, they can get notified automatically through the engine inside of SOTI Connect. And just to give you a bit of a brief example of kind of how this could to resonate just a little bit, is if we look in the food industry as an example, for food that is being stored in refrigeration, they need to be at an optimal temperature to be provided to be consumed. And any organization that does is a part of that industry knows how much time and how much effort and how heavily audited that industry is from a food safety standpoint. So if there is any food that they are sending out that it needs to be refrigerated, it has to stay at that optimal temperature, and they have to check it every at different intervals throughout the day. And having a workforce to do that can be time consuming as well. And if one of those sensors were to fail, you won't get notified until that person actually goes to the physical fridge itself and sees that the temperature has risen an extra 5 degrees, which it shouldn't, and the food is spoiled. So they lose out on that produce. With Connect, we're able to automate and take those various different sensors and set up various commands to say, hey, if there is an issue with this sensor, then I want to create a servicing ticket, or notify an email send a notification email to an administrator to warn them that there's something wrong with the sensor. So these are some of the aspects of what we can do with Connect, and we're looking to grow the various different types of sensors and IoT devices that we can support inside of this platform. So we're almost near the end here, and this is the second last one we'll be talking about, and this is SOTI Identity. So SOTI Identity is essentially created to help authenticate into the SOTI One platform. Because we've expanded from one product, SOTI Mobi Control, to excuse me, to 7 various different products. 6 different products. We want to make sure that we have an easy way for customers to easily access and to define user management and permissions of who gets access to these products. So we've centralized it in a cloud-hosted solution called SOTI Identity, and it provides a single entry point to the SOTI One platform. Now, we are also working with Samsung to provide, to utilize some of their Knox technology within Identity, to expand on the capabilities from this single access point into the SOTI One platform. Now, the final bit that I'll get into here is SOTI Central. And SOTI Central, it's I wouldn't really describe it as a product, but more of a platform of collaboration portal. And this is where we have both our customer base and our partner community can collaborate together to learn about the newest and latest developments. So when Samsung unveils any new sort of software or any sort of hardware that comes out into the industry, it is automatically showcased here inside of Central, so our customer base is notified of these new developments. And another part that's really is really important about this is that there's also a discussion forum. So both our partners and our customers can interact with each other one-to-one in this case, or one-to-many in that an aspect, and share either tips and tricks about how to effectively utilize their Samsung devices in very specific situations. So it's been a really well-received addition to SOTI One as a collaborative portal for both our customers and also our partners. So now that leads me to the next steps, and I'm going to hand it off to Roberto to bring out the call to action for everyone here on the line. Roberto?
Perfect. Thanks for that, Damien. That's a lot of great information, folks. As you've heard throughout Damien's presentation, there's lots of interesting and unique and groundbreaking solutions which SOTI has recently developed. And the beauty of it is how they all integrate into one solution, one platform, which really makes us a differentiator within the market. So with these solutions, the times and age where we're at, and we're seeing a lot more different use cases for mobility and wearables, to be able to have as an organization to offer a solution to enable and facilitate the use of these devices to organizations is really what's outstanding from beyond our competitors. As the next steps, I do encourage for all of you in the line to, if there's any direct questions, if there's any technical questions, or perhaps you have some commercial selling questions, please feel free to reach out directly at my email. My contact is there. We will make sure to circulate it as well. Additionally, I do encourage the folks online to visit the SOTI.net website, and within the website, visit the actual individual SOTI solutions microsite, which will give you a lot more in-depth information regarding how our solution is integrated with the Samsung solutions and what that means to not only to help your business grow in terms of being able to offer different solutions to your customer base, but also how to retain your customers and how to let them get the most out of their mobile deployment. And then lastly, we're always looking and welcoming for different and new opportunities to collaborate and grow together, whether it's through special projects or perhaps you want to host a special event. Please feel free to reach to us directly. If there's any questions from partners who are interested in enrolling as a SOTI partner, or would like further information or perhaps some trial licenses to test these different solutions, please feel free to reach out directly, or you can reach out to sales@soti.net. Aside from that, I know there's still a fair few of the folks on the line. I do appreciate the time. There's nothing much from my end on that one. I know we're past the hours, and I do want to respect folks' time here. Again, I can't reinforce the fact that if there's any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly. We will follow up with an email providing some further content and some material. Just to provide further information. Again, if there's any questions, please feel free to address them directly to myself or point them to sales@soti.net.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for this comprehensive and informative presentation, and for sure the Q&A session brought a lot of light to some of the things you were talking about. thank you, attendees, for coming and spending this time with us, and hope to hear from you soon.